Good evening and welcome to the Belgian Grand Prix here at Francorchamps, however you say it. Gore, how you feeling tonight?
Francorchamps. I am
I'm so excited!
looking forward to the race here. Unfortunately, Slick once again unable to make it, and I believe Refrax already won the championship off points. But regardless, still would have been nice to see those guys race. But unfortunately, not going to have that opportunity. Hopefully, someone else can challenge our boy Refrax, and yeah, should be an interesting race.
Yeah, especially since we know the weather pre-race for Tier 3. It will be light clouds and some overcast, but some light rain coming at the end of the race. So it should make for a very fun time. Do you start mediums and take those and hope to get the intermediates, or do you do a soft intermediate if
Nope,
needed?
So after some testing of my own, or a reliable source, obviously you can try to recreate it in a practice race, right, and set the weather to what you know that we will set it to in the lobby, and just kind of get some ideas for what lap the rain will come. And it seems to come around lap 17 to lap 19. It would be doable on the mediums. However, I don't think it would be worth it giving up the track position here if everyone's probably going to be pitting. That being said, even if you could take those mediums and you couldn't bring them all the way to the rain, fresh softs versus old mediums in mixed conditions is going to be quite a bit faster. So mediums are probably the way to go if you could get the pace, but track position, this is a DRS train, as we know, and so you don't want to be stuck behind somebody, especially if you're trying to go long. But time will tell. We'll see if any of the front runners opt to try that medium strategy. Oh,
Yeah.
and we've already got someone off there and crashed into the wall, I believe, is going to be Meat Shield. Somewhere on his outlap. Might have been... Yeah, it was on his outlap. I don't know what happened. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, I guess we will have to check in with someone later and find out there. Maybe get you down to the pits in a bit. But first driver to start a hot lap here, Atmosphere.
Yeah, we'll see what Atmosphere is able to do. My boy, all right. Y'all leave him alone. My boy Refrax tried to overtake him last time. Couldn't. Okay, that was really close with one of the racing points coming out of the pits there. Atmosphere, decent through a ruse there, losing the rear just a little bit. Not as much traction as you'd want, but maybe he didn't warm up his tires enough. Either way, we're talking about maybe 400ths there when you wobble in Eau Rouge. Nothing too bad. Let's see if he runs out wide on this curb here. He is not going to, but he does cut in really nice and early. People don't realize you can touch that AstroTurf on both of those turns fairly comfortably, especially around there. You can kind of get on that. I guess it almost looks like dirt. You can fairly comfortably go there without getting an invalidation, and it just gives you so much more time. And considering there is, thank you Codemasters, there is literally more grip on the AstroTurf than there is on the curbing. So that's something. He's doing great through Puhan. I think he lifted a little bit too long there. Might have been scared to put the power down and lose the rear end. I know it can be very tricky in this game, especially if you're running a low drag setup, which is optimal for Spa. Through here, nice, doesn't do any braking, just lets the turns flow through one another. Through here, cuts it on the inside. This is shaping up to be a pretty good lap, I would say.
Yeah, he's gone down too many gear shifts on a couple of corners, but he is carrying some decent speed. Yeah, going over those curbs, yeah, you can definitely cut those and straighten out that chicane a lot in the beginning. And then coming into Grandma's house, you really want to stay in a higher gear so you can get more speed coming out. But as he comes up to the bus stop, I think he gets slowed down a little too early, but at least keeps the car in a straight line here. Let's see what he says.
I was about to say,
144.
it's definitely an issue on this track, but almost seems indicative of the only 500ths off Refract, so that was an impressive lap from Atmosphere. However, the track limits, it seems you can cut more than you could in 2019, but you just can't run wide. Feels like that's where it's penalizing most people, is when you run wide, especially here at Spa. Bacon Sushi, 5/10 off his teammate. Blue Cow about 7/10 off Bacon Sushi, so not a great lap from Blue Cow, not where we'd normally expect him, or maybe just phenomenal laps from the two Haas boys.
Yeah, they're both pretty speedy. Bacon Sushi's been doing a lot of practice. He sent me a message the other day. SoCal goes wide. Doesn't seem to invalidate, but looking pretty slow there, but does come in fourth with a 145 flat. Yeah, I was talking to Bacon Sushi. He was trying to get some tips on, some like practicing methodologies and this and that. And I think one of the things some people might struggle with is they think they need to practice every track a lot when it isn't necessarily true. Just getting any practice in week to week is enough. More driving means that you're going to have a better handle on the cars, and also trying to limit the changes. Like, if people want to make too many changes to their setups or how they're driving the tracks. Instead of doing the same thing over and over again and only changing one thing just to see how it happens. But Bacon Sushi's been putting in a lot of time and is much faster now than he was even at the beginning of this particular season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen these T3 guys improve just leagues, especially, I would say, just collectively as a tier, the racecraft has gone up quite a bit from the first race to now. And I think you're right with the practice. One thing I'm definitely guilty of, I'm sure pretty much everybody is making a lot of changes to your setup. The really fast guys, the people that make their own setups, they'll do 5 laps and they'll feel, okay, the rear's slipping a little bit, I'm going to add 1 click of rear toe. They're not going in and they're not changing 5 different things. They're going, well, what if I put, let's do 2 clicks of front wing, a little bit less front toe. Like, when you put in multiple variables, you really don't know what was making the difference. So yeah, definitely keeping a setup consistent. I mean, it is a fine line to walk. You want to be as comfortable as you can with your setup, and that's really when you'll start to extract the lap time. So changing it a bunch. Maybe the first setup you tried, you just didn't give enough laps and actually would have been faster. But then, of course, if you could be faster by nature of setup, it's a hard opportunity to miss. So yeah, it's definitely a tight line to walk. But I think, as you said, really the best thing you can do is just put laps in on any track.
And if I'm going to be trying out some different setups, I'll usually go out to a practice session. I don't like using TT just because it's unrealistic. It is good for like just getting used to track layouts at the beginning, but I don't even do it anymore unless I think if someone puts up a hot lap time, I think I can beat them, so I'll give that a shot sometimes. But I'll take 2 setups. I'll do 1 stint on some tires, and then I'll go out in these same exact kind of tires, just change the setup and do the lap the exact same way, and just kind of see how it feels and how it fares. But honestly, I usually alternate between Valache James and Tom 97. I use theirs. I use more of James's setups this season than anyone else. I think his are very stable with maybe a slight emphasis on oversteer, which I think really helps 2020 because it's not as floaty and the car seems a lot more planted.
Yeah.
It's just easier to drive, so I think having a bit more oversteer can really help you get one more time in the corners. I'm on board with Peach here as he's crossing the line.
I also don't know if I assume it's realistic, but the torque delivery in this game it's not linear like it was, I feel, in 2019. The more throttle you put, throughout the entirety of the gear, it was really the gear that dictated how much wheel spin you have versus now. You could be in 4th gear, and if you put the power down too fast, you can find yourself spinning out. It's definitely more realistic just because of how the gears work.
Well, I mean, I've never driven a Formula 1 car in real life, but I imagine that's probably the case.
Because they have a turbo, that is going to kick in.
Yeah, but they also have electric motors and all that other stuff. Again, not seeing an actual dyno power curve on a Formula 1 car, kind of hard to really see where everything is coming in, so I know I'm guilty of not getting on the power early enough just because I'm afraid to.
Yeah. It does,
get too loose.
Especially just the spins in general seem to creep up on you in this game more than they did in 2019. In 2019, you would kind of realize it from the minute you put the power down that you're going to spin. This one, it seems like you could be 2 seconds into putting the power down, and that's when you spin out.
By the way, double A here, beating out the competition by, almost 4 tenths? Quite impressive.
Yeah.
Apologies, my Windows notifications are being annoying.
I'm riding on board with Refrex here. See if he can regain that pole position. Atmosphere also on a lap just a little bit behind him, so we'll see where they finish respectively. Refrax also not running out wide on that curb, but does cut the inside of at least the first turn of Lake Home, not the second one, but then sets it up nicely for the third turn. Down into this blind hairpin. Really a turn that can make or break your lap. So much time to be found in here. That especially goes for this turn right here. And he actually downshifts before he turns in. There's a lot more time to be found if you brake and downshift while you're turning. That's where you're really going to get the maximum rotation from the car.
I actually like to keep it in 5th through that corner, and then I will actually stay in 8th, at least on a hot lap, through Pouan. You just kind of lift and tap and then power through.
Yeah, basically, everybody does their gears wrong except for Chen Jay. He's the only one who seems to be able to get his gearing perfectly every turn, every time. So watch him, and you'll get a good idea for what gear to be in.
Yeah, drive a Formula One car like the video game it is, and you'll be fast. Look, you know, nothing on him. He's figured out the game mechanics and is applying them very well. His setups are weird, and his driving is odd. But there we go, 1:43.2, more of a respectable time from Refrax. Very quick for this field. I'll say though, the spread not too bad.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of few seconds off there at the bottom of the grid.
I believe that might have been an Eau Rouge. No?
Who?
Was it in the pits? I don't see a yellow flag. So I don't know what happened there. But Gauzier retiring from the session, perhaps in the pits.
Yeah, he's not on the track, it doesn't look like. It'd be nice if I could tell who's where on the track without having to scan through everybody. Trash Panda finishing up another lap here. He goes second.
Yeah, good lap from him. An amazing race from him last time. Qualifying, he didn't seem to really get a good job done. Unable to make the top 10, but then those mediums playing excellently. Him and Atmosphere, I believe, were 12th and 14th respectively, and ended up finishing. Trash Panda doing a better job finishing up in second, but Atmosphere 5th place. Basically just because of strategy. Starting on the mediums in Hungary really did work against the T3 grid.
Cappy going real wide at the bus stop, but is going in. He was on the mediums. I don't really know what he was doing, going out on mediums after setting a 144 on softs. Yeah, looks like everyone's gonna just stick to the traditional tire strategy here. Which you can do a soft to medium easily. The softs can actually go pretty decent amount of laps around here.
Absolutely. I mean, so can the mediums. You could pit on lap 5 and you'd be fine.
Yeah. Which is why I was saying, like, I don't know, if you're the top 5, maybe top 7 drivers, you might be able to get away with soft to soft, and then
yeah, but you do have
if
your
you think you're going to need the intermediates at the end. But, it's kind of hard to say.
That's true with the intermediates. If you don't go on them, you're kind of screwed. But if you do, if you could guarantee you're going on them, you're still putting the out lap, your flying lap. Most people do 2 flying laps with mediums. An in lap, formation lap, which takes like 5% out of your tires if you're doing it right. Especially on mediums. You need heat in those. You should just be going all out on those tires. I don't know if you could then, with that full fuel, make it 17 laps like you could. Actually, they play in reduced reduced damage, so yeah, they definitely could. Never mind, I take that back. They could go to 100% and they'd be fine. So
here's the thing. Let's say the rain comes towards the end and you only have to spend a few laps. Their only drawback to doing a soft to soft is if DRS doesn't get disabled, they have to pit again. Now, if DRS gets disabled, at that point, it doesn't matter which tires you choose, because you don't have to change compounds once DRS is disabled. That's what determines it. Am I correct?
I don't believe. I think it is.
Or is it only if you put a set of wet tires on at some point?
It's basically it is yeah, the reason the rule applies, really the only time the rule applies is if you start on inters, you can finish on inters, you don't need to pit. The rule never applies anywhere else, because if it is raining enough for inters, you were on the dries before, and so you're putting onto inters, that's already 2 compounds. It's the only time I believe it matters is if you are starting on the intermediate tires and ending on the intermediate tires. You don't have to pit if you don't want to.
Yes, I know that. I'm not 100% on what the weather change during race is.
I just think the soft is too risky. It does seem likely though too. If it does come lap 17, if it does come lap 19, DRS will be disabled at some point. It's normally 2 to 3 laps and around Spa. I believe they do take lap time into account. I could be mistaken. I don't think it's a binary number of laps. I think it's more a timer to when DRS is disabled. I could be mistaken though. Regardless, in 4 laps, it'll probably be disabled. Now, would it be worth it to pit if it's just for 1 lap? It's a tough one. It really is. This track is so long, and if you can get the power down on these straights 5 to 6 times better on fresh intermediates versus worn old tires with DRS disabled, you could make up so much time. I mean, the amount that someone on old mediums or old softs would have to lift through Eau Rouge, that would just compromise their entire Kemmel straight. The gears they would have to be in through Lake Home, the blind hairpin, Kuan, they would be lifting like crazy. Blanchimont, they would be lifting like crazy. And trying to get the power down through out of the bus stop, I think there's definitely something to be said for going on to inters, even if it is just for 1 or 2 laps, because of how long this track is and just how many corners proceed along straight. It's there's a lot of time to be found there if you can just go flat out.
I love Spa. I mean, and
Greatest
not
track.
and not for the. I don't buy into the whole
Quan up to P2 with a 143.3.
very nice. I don't buy into the whole it's a classic track or history and blah blah blah. I just think it's nice to drive. Is really what it is for me. And for me, like, France is the same way. It's not really that difficult to drive, and I think that's why I like it. It's
Well,
not saying I'm
according to
going
our
for
pit lane reporter, Sahil Vibes, Spa is the hardest track to drive. End of discussion. So.
Oh well, that might be true for him, but I don't seem to have too much trouble with it. But to each their
Yeah.
own. We all have our strengths and weaknesses.
I agree.
Hi,
I
Van.
think France is a little underrated, just because of how terrible the racing is. But the track itself, it is a lot of fun to drive.
Oh yeah, and if you see it's tracks like that, it's like you can really get, because you're essentially driving against yourself at a lot of the points. You could find yourself just with no one around you, and it's just you versus the track.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I just have to better myself on the track, and if you nail a perfect lap around some of these places, it feels good. Easton here finishing his lap. Let's see if he's improves. Yeah, he moves up to 4th place. A little bit of improvement there. Refrac's still on, going out for another lap, even though he's at the top. I don't know who he thinks is going to beat him.
Can't hurt. Atmosphere also about to finish his lap. We saw he was up close to Refrax on that first lap. Is he going to be? No, he's invalidated. He might actually have enough time to start another one because of how the session lies to us. Let's see. No, looks like the AI has control. Yeah, so he bungled that last lap. Refrax crosses the line to improve to a 143.2. Phenomenal
Improves
lap.
by 1/100th of a second.
Yep.
Who's EMIC 13?
I don't know.
Oh, hello everybody. Finishing up qualifying here, waiting for some to finish laps. Looks like SoCal is still out there, but he's not going to be finishing this lap.
Van is saying to turn me up a bit. I guess he just loves my voice so much. Van, you're so silly.
Turn you up, huh?
I don't know. I am going to start shouting on lap 1, so it might be better to just leave it.
Let's see how that goes.
All right, yeah. Well, as the session is basically coming to a close here. Oh, perfect timing. I think we're in for an interesting race. I don't think we're in for an interesting fight for first place as it stands. I think Refrax is going to get away from pole, and now that there's not a certain AI driver who shall remain nameless to take him down, I think he will be able to really get away. That being said, I say that, and Juan and Double are only 1/10 off. I was thinking they were all 4/10 off. That's going to be a young my bad there, boys. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Juan could win the slipstream. I mean, my boy, Sebastian Vettel. You know what I'm saying? 2018. Oh, beautiful. So being in first place isn't always the best place to be on Spa. Second place is usually the way to go, or rather, just first place after turn one. Because you do have the inside line that you can just kind of swap to the outside, let someone go down the inside, and then, put the power down, but don't Valtteri Bottas it and let off so much that you almost have Max Verstappen slam into the back of you. So, yeah, if you're careful on Eau Rouge and you make sure that you have the speed on them at the right time, it's a very easy overtake into Lake Holmes from P2. Lake Home from P2.
Lake Holmes. Looks like Van and Fox here are trying to call out a couple of lap one. Is that a lap one thing you're shooting for there, Van? Some incidents. I mean, always a problem, but we do have formation lap on, correct? Looks like it. Yep.
Yes.
All right. So we will go with position change for the beginning. Get everything turned back on because it's not like I want to keep my settings. All right, so let's talk formation lap because there seems to be some maybe misinformation / confusion / nobody really knows or cares to find out. Some people just take the hell off on lap one.
Yeah.
Some say the temperatures don't drop once you get to the grid. Some say they do. I don't know. I haven't really paid attention, to be quite honest.
I can basically tell you. Yeah. Tire temperature, crazy important. Absolutely crazy important. If you have, especially in the wet, if you're on inters, just destroy them on the formation laps. Basically come so close to spinning out. I mean, just get the rear tires super hot if you can. I mean, just or rather into operating temperature because it's fairly hard at low speeds in the wet. But that's really where you'll notice the biggest difference if you wanted to test no tire warm-up versus tire warm-up. Soft tires, it's still not negligible. It's a clear difference between if you got disqualified from the formation lap and sat there at the starting tire temperatures versus if you warm them up. Now, if you're at like 80 versus 90, if you just drive the formation lap but you don't warm your tires extra, refrax into the gravel. But yeah, it's crazy important to get these tires up to temperature. It really is. When you drop the clutch like that, Trash Panda disqualified, him and Chewy having a coming together. Yeah, it's super important. Your tires absolutely cool down on the grid. I don't know if any of you guys remember in 2019, there was the glitch where someone wouldn't load into the lobby and it would take like 3 minutes and your tires, you could watch them slowly go down. So the tires absolutely do cool down on the grid. Warming them up is crazy important, the mediums especially. If you are on the medium tires, you should just be destroying those innocent little tires.
I think, yeah, I mean, and also more important than that, as you approach they kind of need to spread out a little bit, but as you approach the AI retaking control, you really need to just slam those brakes on real hard.
Oh, yeah.
And get them warmed up for the beginning because I have overshot turn ones a lot because my brakes were too cold and I just didn't take that into account.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy. You don't want to be Lewis Hamilton and what he did to my boy Valtteri. What he did, that was criminal. That was criminal, boys. You don't want to do that. But yeah. So here we find ourselves with the lights coming on. 4 lights, 5 lights. Thank you, Codemasters. Oh, predicted pit stop strategy. Exactly what I wanted to read right now. It's lights out, and away we go. Refrax getting a good getaway. Juan getting a very slow getaway. Double AA going to be right up the inside. Juan goes into the wall. That is why he was slow off and comes back across the track, shoots through turn 1, thankfully ghosted. We've got a lot of injuries in the back. Quirk into the side of someone, Chewy into the side of someone, Drakenwolf getting spun, TJ Hymax getting a pretty good clout. The rest of them seem to be clean. As we go up Eau Rouge, this is where the next biggest thing is down the grid. We've got a Merc going really slowly, a Ferrari going slowly. That's another Ferrari that goes into the wall there. That's EVA losing it in the middle of it. We've got a virtual safety car. Hymax picks up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. I don't know when that would have happened. I was watching and I didn't see anything happen, but that's interesting. Yeah, huge calamity into turn 1. Quan from second place, overspinning his tires. Maybe they weren't warm enough. We've got basically a car park here in the middle of the Kemmel Straight. But yeah, so as a small recap, Quan trying to, I guess, just get the best start he could and lost it. And we're under racing conditions again. Quan just shooting through ghosted cars. But yeah, Quan losing it, went into the wall, got wing damage, spun back across the grass, went across the track, and just went through everybody in turn 1. But I think he was ghosted, and then there was some stuff behind with Chewy and Draken and Gauzy. I could be mistaken, so I apologize if one of those guys wasn't involved in that, but there was a pretty huge incident. The Peach suffered wing damage. I believe he went into the side of someone or got, like, someone just destroyed him. Double A. Sorry, my bad. 1.3 seconds off Refrax. Eiston pretty close behind him. And Atmosphere up into 4th position. 2/10 off 3rd place. Eiston, could we be seeing our first podium for Atmosphere? Cappy all the way up to 5th on those medium tires. He's in an excellent position right now. Just a huge incident in turn 1. Lots of wing damage, lots of people going slowly, and I think Cappy seems to have capitalized the most off that.
Yeah, looks like Atmosphere, Ice-10, and Double A are right in a almost back-to-back here. Obviously no DRS this lap, but they will get it coming in next lap, so if they can stay close to each other, should make it quite exciting. Refrax got a 2-second lead now. Luckily, I managed to catch most of that carnage down the first few turns there on the stream, so that should be quite interesting to look back on.
And yeah. Eiston looking to get the move done on Double A looking to the inside now, kind of squeezing Eiston out to the outside there just a little bit. Now they are wheel-to-wheel. Double finally using his overtake here. Oh, and that's going to be Eiston just turning right in on him, and that's going to be Double A in the wall. Just barely. Hopefully he didn't get wing damage, but that's going to cost him a lot of time as he doesn't seem to be able to get into reverse there quick enough. Now he goes into first gear, almost back into the wall. This is hard to watch. This is Ragunathan levels of track rejoining. That's just upsetting.
Yeah, that's very disappointing for Double A. Very, very good qualifying from him, and then now lap 2 just eating it hard. We'll have
I'm
to
not
wait
sure
for the
too
reports
if
on that.
I looked like Eiston didn't turn in too early. It just looked like Double A locked up a little bit. Eiston locked up, and I think he just missed his braking a little bit and didn't turn in as early as he could have, and he just kind of understeered into Eiston under braking. Or so I guess not understeered, just kind of drifted into Eiston a little bit there. Eiston might have turned in early, but Eiston locked up, which tells me he went a little bit straighter on than you would normally do, which just points more towards Double. Oh, and that's going to be Gauzieg losing it at the Giovinazzi corner and going straight into the wall, and we've got another VSC. I still think it's too early to pit for mediums. You could go to hards to the rain, but I would not do that. Absolutely would not do that. Hopefully nobody does, because that'll be painful. But yeah, we've got ourselves a VSC. And Atmosphere spins out under VSC. I would love to make fun of him for that, but I felt that on a spiritual level. And he's going to lose a few positions. Cappy all the way up to 3rd position on those medium tires. He's got to be very happy with that. DRS now enabled, excuse me. And yeah, Atmosphere back into the pack with Trash Panda after that spin under the VSC. You hate to see it. Double A going into the pits and smacking his wing again for good measure. I think that's just to make sure that it got replaced, but he does speed in the pit lane, so that's a his race has gone from bad to worse. Quan 54 seconds off EVA, but fresh mediums. Quirk opting to go for the hard tires. I think the mediums are the way to go to the rain, but we'll see.
Coming out of turn 1, it looked like Trash Panda let up or something. Wasn't quite sure what happened there, but Atmosphere just blew by him. But we're on board with Halimax here on the back of SoCal Blazer. Yeah, so a lot of commotion there the first few laps. To whomever said, no wonder this is T3. It's actually been not too bad the past few races, T3 wise. They've been pretty clean. I mean, sure, there have been some incidents here and there, but they've had pretty clean races. T3 has actually been quite enjoyable to watch because everything has been so close because
IMAX runs wide in Puan, though. Oh, and that's someone up front. That's Atmosphere, I believe. Yeah, Atmosphere suffering some major wing damage. I think in Puan there, losing an entire end plate. Again, to go back to the Ice Tin double A, definitely going to be upset. That's quite a few positions in wing damage, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's a penalty, if it's found that Ice Tin did in fact turn in. I was riding on board with double A, and it just didn't look like that was Ice Tin's fault, but again, I don't have a replay of it. I could very well be mistaken, and Ice Tin did turn in too early.
Yeah, we were
The
on board.
reports left to see, but
We were on board with Ison during that, and it was kind of hard to tell exactly what happened. I mean, it looked like he gave him enough space. It all happened pretty fast. So we'll have to wait for the onboards.
Exactly. Yep, 100%. Atmosphere goes into the pits now.
Ooh, Drakenwolf getting very sideways coming out of the bus stop.
Hey, and in a Williams, remember when you did that because I hit you and you spun out from the lead?
Yeah, that was fun. What was that? I had pole position.
No, you were in third position.
Oh, that's right.
I was in second. I got past first position. You come storming through and smack me off the track.
No. I don't remember that happening.
100%. And then you go, oh, sorry, had to get past Creamy. I have a recording of it. We will debate this in ARC.
I think in terms of 0 to 10 scale on cleanliness, it was probably a solid 4 out of 5 of sorry, dirtiness rather. But yes. I did have the lead, and then coming into the very last turn, you said, "Here's a little love tap," right as I was coming off onto the throttle, and just spun me out, and the entire field passed me. I did though recover to a pretty decent, fifth position, I think.
Let's give a shout out to my boy Kia, if he's in the chat here, for thinking, instead of Righteous going from 1st to 15th, back up to 4th position, let's give it to Cookie, who went from 10th to 7th. Definitely driver of the day there. Still remember that one. Absolutely robbed.
I'm not bitter or anything.
No, not at all. Yeah, that was a hilarious incident, and but we finished 1-2 the next race, so no big deal.
LMX side by side with SoCal boys are getting all over the place here, but really looking to get past this guy. And hits him, and they both are out.
Eager there. Yeah, yep. That was not what I did, for the record. Mine was much more gentle.
Yeah, I mean, it was because the hit boxes don't really show exactly what happens because there's actually a gap, but it had to have been the lightest of light taps that ever tapped. SoCal Blaze are now under AI. I don't know what's happening here, but yeah, and I was going and I was like, this is great, still in first. You know what? Let's just get this. It's me and you, same team, 1-2. We'll just kind of play off each other. And then I got tapped, and I was speechless.
Yeah, we have Cappy and Trash Panda going wheel to wheel. Cappy able to outbrake Trash Panda around the outside and keep that 3rd position for now, but Trash Panda eagerly wanting to take that final podium position from him.
Yeah, field's now spread out a little bit. We got Peach 10 seconds off Blue Cow, Sushi 12 seconds off Double A, and wow.
Can we give a shout though to this T3 grid, boys? Absolute legends. No incidents in Eau Rouge. T1 had incidents in Eau Rouge. T2 had incidents in Eau Rouge multiple times. Multiple cars. T3, love that. Able to take Eau Rouge.
Turn 1 and ready on, different story. But Eau Rouge, clean.
Exactly. No one into those side barriers. That's what we like to see. All right, Trash Panda having a great run on Cappy into Blanchimont now. Cappy and him kind of playing chicken with the slipstream a little bit there. But Cappy going to hold the inside of Blanchimont, which just seems completely unnecessary, but he's going to do it, and now he's going to go back to the racing line. Good call from him. Trash Panda braking super early. You could hear that gear shift just as he was lightly tapping the brakes very early, making sure he didn't go into the back of the Cappy, into the back of Cappy, and that's just smart racing from him, especially if there's no need to overtake there. Just make sure you stay close, and now you've got I think the second longest straight on the calendar. I could be mistaken, but it's got a very long DRS straight. He didn't get a very good exit out of turn 1. I don't know if that's Cappy's mediums actually coming into effect now, and that's going to allow him to get better traction than the worn soft. Sorry, but Only time will tell, but Trash Panda is gaining quite a bit on Cappy. Is he going to be able to go for a move? Cappy going back into the middle of the track, not defending to the outside or to the inside. Trash Panda not really looking around the outside, putting his car there, but not sending it on the brakes to try to swoop around. I think he knew that Cappy had that position. Good preemptive defending from Cappy to just take any thought of a send from Trash Panda out of the question.
Well, Trash Panda on those softs, he's about 40-ish% wear. They don't fall off too
Trash
hard
Panda
here.
might go down the inside on Poo, and I really hope he doesn't know. He backs out of it. Yeah, Cappy. Oh boy, they both go off the track. Trash Panda almost on the side of Cappy. Cappy really holding the inside of those corners, and it's really screwing with his exits. Trash Panda, unfortunately, not seeing it early enough to get a better exit to kind of take advantage of that. I think he's caught off guard a little bit by it.
Do you think it's more him looking for a move or sort of a monkey see, monkey do situation?
I think it's... Oh, Cappy into the grandma's house. Barrier there, I think, a little bit, at least into the gravel, but possibly able to save without any wing damage. I'm not sure. It looked like he took a hit there, but maybe not. His end plates are still intact. And now he's on the back of Trash Panda into the bus stop chicane. And Cappy has done phenomenally with his energy. He's at 65% to Trash Panda's 14%. I think he'll definitely re-overtake him here. So he just needs to be patient and make sure not to crash with him into turn one or lose it out of the bus stop. He's done that latter part very well. Now Trash Panda saving his energy while Cappy's using it. I don't know why you would ever send it in turn one here. And case in point, they both just go slower and Cappy ends up behind anyways. But now he's going to get done what he should have in the first place, which is just wait for this. But he is a little bit further behind than he would have been. That's just... I feel like you need to be a little bit more patient than that, my guy, but we'll see if he can make this move done. He does have the overtake to use at 62%, used a little bit of it. Now he's not using it. I think he'll still be able to get this move done because Trash Panda is almost out of energy, but no, Cappy opting not to use the energy, just use the DRS and maybe just keep saving some more energy.
So my boy Cappy here, very aggressive driver sometimes and picks up a decent amount of penalties. I think if you were to keep it a lot cleaner and a little bit smarter sometimes, you'd have a little bit more success. But as of right now, ooh, and he gets loose.
We've got a safety car. We've got a full safety car. Everybody should be pitting onto the mediums. Cappy in a real tough position right now. Softs won't last to the end, and you can't put on another set of mediums. So that is the one worry in Spa. Cappy does have wing damage, so I think he did clip Grandma's house there a little bit.
Yeah, and I was...
Drafting picks up a... drive-through, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to touch on this. He does have a little bit of right side wing damage. One thing I think, because he just ran into that wall, I was going to say before that, if he didn't have that damage, his mediums are going to last a lot longer than these other guys' softs. I think his best bet is to just take it easy, go for the smart move, don't go for the aggressive move. Keep up with and stay in the DRS train. If you get the overtake opportunity, if it's just presents itself, then take it. But now it's kind of, who knows, you know?
Yeah.
So he's going into the pits as well. So while we're under safety car here, well, at least one thing. So
no, refrax going on to the hards. Oh, that might put his race win very much in jeopardy. I don't know why anybody would ever go onto the hards. This is literally your pit window for mediums, and there's rain coming at the end. Why is anyone going on hards?
He is very quick, and I think his hard pace might be okay, but yeah, definitely should have gone down to the medium because you're going to be under safety car for a couple laps here. You're not going to put too much wear into him, so you're going to get extra time.
Literally, lap 8 is kind of the lap to pit. Lap 8 or 9 is the lap to pit for medium tires, and you've got a safety car, and you've got rain coming at the end. That's a no-brainer. I would have pit lap 5 had there been a safety car on the mediums, mostly because I painfully lost a race because Rogue decided to do that, but we don't talk about that.
While we're under safety car, let's hit up the chat here. We have Sav696 asking about the graphics on those are SimHub overlays. SimHub is free with a quote-unquote recommended donation that you can make to unlock so you can get higher updates. I think it's limited to 10 hertz or 10 updates per second without a donation, and a few features, or you can get a donation, which I shot him $15, I think, but you can give him like $5 or $3, or it really doesn't matter. and unlock 60 hertz updates, as well as I think a couple more features. So
It also works with basically every racing game. So
yeah, it works with every game. You can go to racedepartment.net, not a plug. They tons of community stuff for this. People just put stuff out all the time, or you can make your own, and good opportunity there. DePaul asks, how much can we donate to Add Ballast? Unfortunately, we can't do that here, but I like your spirit.
Yeah, unfortunately, we use our brains, unlike Formula E, #FanBoost. So yeah, that's not allowed here.
Wands are asking about wing damage. Wings, the only damage you can get to wings here, at least in the game, is your front
No,
wing.
Righteous, I gotta stop you here. This is my chance to be Martin Brundle.
Okay.
So basically, the wing is like an airplane where instead of forcing the plane up, it's the opposite. It's why they call it downforce. It forces the car to the ground. It's like a reverse aeroplane wing. And basically what happens is when you get damage to it, it's producing less downforce, which basically means the car's got less grip, sticks to the track a little bit less. It's being forced down less of the tires. It's just slower when you get wing damage. There are stages to it. You can lose an end plate, which is there's the wing, and then on both ends there's a plate, if you will, no big deal. But basically you can lose those. That's usually yellow to orange damage. Red damage is like the whole half the wing's gone. I've totally lost the accent now, but that's fine. And so basically with wing damage just means the driver is going to go slower. They can go into the pits and replace that wing, but that's about a 7-second pit stop instead of a 2-second pit stop. However, they will usually lose more time if they stay out because they're losing about a second a lap. Over 22 laps is 22 seconds. That's obviously just a simplified version, but basically the wings are, a way of getting the car to turn under such high speeds, and the more damage it is, the less it's able to do that job, the slower they have to go through the turns.
Yeah, and it's going to affect a small amount of damage is really going to affect... Okay, so if you lose an end plate on your right side, it's really going to affect your... Let's say you lose it on the right side, it's going to affect your left-hand turns because you're not going to have the wind coming into that one to kind of hold the car that way. So you're going to get a lot of understeers through left-hand turns. But if you have a lot more damage, it's going to affect every turn. And, obviously, in real life, you could have damage to your rear wing. But in this one, if your rear wing is damaged, that means you're probably crashed out anyway. Chipsy has said that the game switched him back to hards, which, unless it happened right as he entered the pits, if he didn't have medium selected in his MFD,
it happens, though.
him. But I think
Refrax
will be okay. It's not like he's going to lose a championship, but...
All right, settle down. DePaul saying now do Toto. My Toto kind of sounds more like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but
you can do a good Gunther.
I could do a good Gunther Steinel, but also, I'm going to try the Toto Wolf. Basically, what we have. Oh, that was Russian. Hold on, I got it. Hold on, sorry about this. Get to the chopper. All right, now I've got the Austrian. So basically, and it goes Russian. Yeah, I'm sorry, boys. This is upsetting. I should have practiced for you.
You work on it a little bit. Safety car's coming in. It looks like.
Yeah, safety car's coming in now. Perfect time. Refrax kind of pulling a Lewis Hamilton here. You love to see it. Is he going to go mid-weave, or is he going to wait till the end of the corner? It looks like he's gone now, which is going to allow Eiston to be all over the back of him. Double AA picking up a 5-second penalty. Eiston getting pit limited now. A lot of smoke behind him. Refrax into the wall. Not warming up those hard tires nearly enough, and Eiston's going to be able to send it down the inside here. He goes very late on the brakes. They all have cold brakes here, and that's going to really limit their ability. But Eiston able to get it. Oh, a little bit of slip from the rear there, but he's able to keep onto it. Refrax, I don't think he has any wing damage, and he's all over the back of him. He's going to have to lift into Eau Rouge. As you see him do there, you don't want to be gaining on them before Eau Rouge. Lifts off a little bit too much. That's exactly what Bottas did, and it really cost him. Maybe he was scared to go flat out through Eau Rouge, but that's put Trash Pan on the back of him. Chewy a little bit too far behind there, and we've got two wide here. Blue Cow, Peach going for a double move here. Peach able to get past Blue Cow, and now able to get past SoCal as we go 3 wide into Lacombe. 3 does not go into 1 here. 4 almost into 1. And that's an incident. There we go. We've got SoCal Blazer getting spun around. Or sorry, that was Drakenwolf spun around by SoCal Blazer. Blue Cow losing the rear off exit, and Peach able to send it back down the inside and get the position on him. Blue Cow and unfortunately just losing it. SoCal now sending it down the inside of Blue Cow into the blind hairpin. Understeers a little bit wide into him. knocking the rear of Blue
Lots
Cow,
of
but Blue Cow
contact.
able to keep the position. And now double A able to get past SoCal there, who was backed off because he was a little bit scared. Or sorry, get past Atmosphere there. Then SoCal back around the outside. Interesting fighting from these guys up the field a little bit. Iced-In leads by 1.2 seconds. That's going to be those hard tires really not able to work for him. Trash Panda and Chewy all on the hard tires. The Peach, the only one on the mediums of those guys. And so we'll see if he can make progress through that field as well. Yeah, Ford does not go into one there, and it looked like SoCal was, Draken put his nose where it didn't belong. You see them going 3 wide. I don't know why you would put your nose there on the third guy, and it got him spun.
Yeah, and while a lot of that was happening, Cappy, who was in 4th place, dropped down to 11th here. Not sure what happened, but maybe if we can get something in the chat on that from one of the engineers or somebody else. But I don't know if he got loose or if somebody hit him, but yeah, he definitely dropped down. He was up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because we are now very close here for a 6th place. Oh, and it looks like Blue Cow got loose out of the bus stop.
Yeah. Yep, we've all been there. Someone asking me to do Matteo Bonato. That would just sound too much like Mario. Oh, Arcada isn't the faster. He's basically just Italian Harry Potter.
Can you make it? Can you make it lower about Mario?
Hey, this Arcada is a sheep. Oh, sorry. Wow, I've gone like the last 3 weeks. I've gone the last 3 weeks without saying any obscenities on stream, and that's when I do it. Nice.
There are adults present here. For shame.
Yeah, that's my bad. My Gunter is pretty flawless though.
I will say
I'm
it is
not
quite
doing
good.
Cyril. I'm not doing Cyril. Cyril is gross. It's
Also-
just any person. Oh, I still Indel. Yeah, Iced-In able to build a 1.6 second gap, so he
SoCal
is
gets
maybe
sideways
not
coming to the.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, no. Oh, and is that SoCal and Hymax? Yeah, both got into an instant. Both ghosted as I went back on board with them. So some incident between those two, they find themselves relegated to 10th and 11th respectively.
Yeah, and real quick for the chat, if someone can tell me why I'm appearing to get some sort of ghosting, it's not my monitor because I checked the stream. It's definitely, I don't know if it's the game or something else, but I'm definitely getting some sort of image ghosting. It happens only in F1, so I think maybe it's an F1 problem. I don't know if anybody else has it.
Interesting. Yeah, Cork getting past Hymax there. Hymax kind of losing it through Puan and having to just correct it. Almost went into the back of SoCal, but that set him back a little bit, and Cork able to just send it around the outside. And now up the field a little bit, we've got Juan and Cappy. Cappy pitting for... We missed this, though, right? Just Cappy pitting for fresh mediums and not replacing his wing damage, or he already got fresh wing damage. Juan sends it down the inside. Cappy kind of LM prosting him there and turning in before the apex, but not quite as bad. But yeah, not interesting fighting from them, we'll say that. I'm curious to see how this pans out for Cappy. If you have to pin on to Inters, that was absolutely the right decision for Cappy.
Yeah, not too bad. Are we on DRS now? Has it been enough? I think we're
Yes,
still one more.
DRS has been enabled. Nope, it has. Yep, and we find Refrax 2.6 seconds off the leader and Trash Panda 1.7 seconds off him. We saw Refrax essentially get almost 2 seconds on Iced-In in one lap when they were on the same tire.
I'm looking
So that's
for an overtake on Cappy here. They keep it clean. Oh, no, I apologize. They don't. He spins out. It looked pretty clean from the onboard with Juan, but Cappy suffers again. The dude has not... He has got to be very upset
and
right now.
Drakenwolf disqualified out of 16th position because he didn't serve his drive-through penalty.
That is rough.
You hate to see it. You really do. Iced-In now a 3-second gap, so unless Refrax can really shine in this rain, if he's losing this much time this consistently, he's going to be in some real trouble to be fighting for this race win.
Yeah, Cappy missing his right hand end plate as Blue Cal just kind of walks by him through Puan. Cappy
Also,
is going to have some issues.
For sure. I think he should probably pit again. I do think, too, I don't know how this happened, but I mean, we have a few close gaps, but somehow the safety car seemed to have spread out the field quite a bit.
Now EV500 just walks by Cappy as well at Grandma's house. So Cappy is not too happy with the performance of his car right now. I got a few battles here in the bottom half of the grid. The only close battle real is battle for 4th with Chewy, Peach, and Double A. All within DRS range of each other, so should close up here for the rest of the lap. Cappy picking up a 5-second for speeding.
Yeah,
into the
put
pit
that
lane.
insult victory there. That's you hate to see it. Refrac's now at 3.2 seconds behind. But now we do have a bit of a nice gap here between Peach AA. Those guys fighting, and not too far ahead is Chewy. So we'll see. Cappy just he retires in the pits after picking up that penalty, losing his wing. I can sympathize with that. Oh, he pit onto the inters for good measure.
Yeah,
You love to see it.
I still had position change on, but double AA on softs, Peach on
Yeah.
mediums, and Chewy on hards. So this could get interesting.
I think AA
Spicy,
does
if
need
you
to
will.
clear these guys and try to get some free air laps in, because those softs are not going to last at the end. Okay, maybe not be that impatient there, as he's going to try around the outside here, really squeezing Peach, and he gets the move done. At least for now, he's going to turn in, and Peach is going to back out because he realized double AA would have been able to just turn in. Double AA, though, if he was on mediums, I would have to credit this guy. Absolutely a comeback after his incident with Ice Tin, who is now leading the race. But had he pit onto mediums, I think he'd be in a better position than he is right now on softs, just as far as for the longevity of this race. There always could be another safety car. But an excellent recovery from him. An excellent clean race from Peach so far. And we've got Atmosphere, again, with a pretty decent recovery back up to 7th position. But unfortunately, Bacon Sushi down in 14th on softs. The Haas boys qualified fairly promisingly, but that has not delivered in the race yet. But of course, we still have 8 laps of Spa, and as Christian Horner says, anything can happen in 3 laps. That's exactly how he sounds. So yeah, we've got that. Double AA looking for a move on Chewy now. Made the move on Peach, as we saw. Always going to be looking for Chewy, but now he's a lot closer than he was. Is he going to go for another overtake through the through the second sector? Excuse me. I hope not. As long you really hate to see crashes this late in the race when everyone's kept it pretty clean so far, at least of the drivers present. It's always a bummer when you've come this far and you're looking your strategy towards the rain and something like that happens. I would love to know what kind of, Chipsy, if you could put it in the chat, what's Jeff saying about how long until the rain? I know he's fairly inaccurate, but still be interested to see if he said 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something. As Chewy loses the rear there, that's going to allow Double A to go right down the inside and take the racing line through Stavlo, and that's going to be his position. Peach falling back a little bit from him, so not quite able to keep up with Double A. That makes sense, as Double A is on the softs, but hopefully for Peach, he's going to want to be catching Chewy here, who is on those hard tires, and Refrac's almost at 4 seconds now behind Eiston.
Double AA should be able to pull this out here. As DePowell mentions that anti-aliasing could be the issue. I'm running NVIDIA DLSS, so I'm not quite sure what to change it to, because FXAA is not an option for this game. Say again?
So what?
No.
Chipsy said few laps out for the rain. I said imagine using DLSS instead of just buying a good graphics card. Hashtag
I have a 2080 Super. Eat it.
I have a 2080 Ti. Eat me.
What AA setting are you using then?
I just have everything turned up all the way. Let's see.
What is up all the way for anti-aliasing? Because if you go all the way to the right, it's different.
FX sharpening.
What?
TAA and Fidelity FX sharpening.
So that's what you're using?
Yeah, that is what I'm using.
Alright, well, let's...
it makes things a little bit... the sharpness, you definitely notice. That's absolutely amazing.
While we ride on board with Peach, I will switch over to that and see if that fixes. Do not worry about me.
We have a safety car. Double A. If he's got an extra set of softs, can pit again onto the softs.
It's gone.
Everybody else should be able to pit onto the softs. There you go.
The ghosting is gone. That's so amazing.
In the words of Edwin S. Lowe, Yahtzee.
It doesn't really look any different either.
Yeah, well, let's see what we got here. This is going to be interesting between Refrax and Ice Tin. Everybody should be pitting onto the softs right now, because they can go to the end, and if the rain comes, it's literally everybody should be going onto the softs immediately, even if you have like 7% wear from a reckless qualifying in and out lap. You should more have around along the lines of 3%. Ice Tin stays out.
So did Cappy retire?
In the pits. He retired in the pits on purpose.
Oh, that's a kick yourself in the ass moment right here, because with this extra safety car, that's why you never give up. Keep going.
Chewy
Chewy.
opts not to pit, but then spins. I believe we've already seen him spin there once, or that might have been his teammate Draken. But he basically, if he would have pitted, he'd come out in the same position he is now, but on fresh tires. Quan staying out, Atmosphere staying out. For these guys, I think for Atmosphere and Quan, I think it is the right call to stay out. Get that track position. Same with Peach. Refrax, you know what? He's got a lot of traffic to clear. I didn't think that many people would stay out, but by nature of track position, because the safety car was laps, I believe it was lap 8, they had 2 laps under the safety car. Now they're going to have another 2 laps under the safety car. Those mediums will easily make it to the end. So I think Atmosphere got 6 positions from staying out. I think that was the right call. He's back up into 3rd position where he started this race, or at least where he was by the end of lap 1.
Yeah, Chewy staying on the hards, though. I don't know if that's a good choice. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if any of the race engineers can chime in on what the rain... Did you say something about when the rain's supposed to come?
Chipsy said a few laps out, according to Jeff. That was just a few minutes ago.
As
so
per Jeff in quotes, I see, yeah. The PAL, we're not measuring anything. We're just messing with each other. Van says... It's so weird seeing the speed difference. Yeah, so whenever I do ACC and even in the GT3 cars, which are, pretty speedy boys, like we were doing Suzuka on Saturday and just watching them go around on replay, you might as well just be watching street cars drive around the city at that point, because when you're in an F1 car, your lap times are 30 to 40 seconds faster than in a GT3 car, and it's just insane to watch.
Oh my god, that's Wanzer in the chat. Wanzer, remember when we played Division that one time and then you kicked me from your server? That was epic. We've got
Clustercuck, I like that.
Yeah.
There's a Punisher episode I just watched the other day.
Punisher. John Berthel. The rain is out! It is raining! It is raining on lap 16 under the safety car. Please, nobody pit for inters. Please do not pit for inters. Oh my god, if someone pits for inters and the car goes in there, it's so hard to watch.
If you pit for inters and no one else does,
no, you'll burn them out.
Track
even under
position.
the safety car, you'll burn them out. Even under the safety car, Atmosphere goes in. Let's see if it pays off. This could be a hero call right here. We'll see.
Wanzer says, what? Really?
Yeah, I don't know if this was the right call from Atmosphere. He might have just thrown away his race. He was up into 3rd position. If it stays out for another lap, maybe. Bacon also opting to pit from fresh softs. Atmosphere serving a penalty in the pits for good measure. I guess if there's a time to do it, it is under the safety car. Fair play. We'll see if this works. It'll be very interesting. He is going to come out in front of a few people, so still not going to be last. And those people are pretty far behind. Bacon is far behind. The safety car might actually stay out another lap, in which case I think Atmosphere is in a pretty decent position.
Bacon Sushi, yeah, going on intermediates too. Van thinks a couple more laps. 2 or 3 more laps before the DRS is disabled.
However, that being said, I posed this question in the beginning, and I still don't know if this is the case. Is DRS disabled from when it starts raining based off a lap count or off a timer? If it's a lap count, Atmosphere's in trouble, because I would say comfortably 2 to 3 more laps. But if it's off timing, these laps are much slower, and so one of these laps is like 2 to 3 laps, or rather 2 laps at full speed, so it's possible.
Except I think the game has its own internal way of determining what the appropriate lap time for the track conditions should be. So I don't think it's determined by what we're seeing. I think there's a
could be,
code
sure.
underneath that is determining when things take effect. Yes, in real life, yes, you would be correct as far as lap times are concerned, because that's how they determine it. But
let's see now, though, Righteous. This is going to make or break Atmosphere and Bacon Sushi's laps, respectively. If the safety car goes in, we will see it in the middle of Stavlo. If it is, Bacon Sushi is pretty far off. I wouldn't be surprised if it stays out. And it is. It's staying out another lap. Some people are in some serious trouble right now.
So I think it might be a little difficult for some of these guys to get temperature in their tires. They should do what they can, but I think more importantly, a lot of them should be working on brake temperatures towards the end of the next lap, because we are about to see some more incidents. And being this close to the end of the race, nope, safety car is coming in.
Oh, he pulled a little switcheroo on
So
us
Ice
there.
needs to get some temperature in these brakes, as does everyone behind him, and they need to take it very easy because this is about to get very, very bad.
Right. Unleashing my inner Eminem at you, Van. Let's see what we got here as the safety car is in and the race is back underway. Ice Tin thankfully was pit limited. Otherwise, he was about to spin out because he almost does it afterwards. Juan going sideways, Chewy into the wall. Refrax able to get past him. Trash Panda losing it, but able to maintain it and not go into the wall. Yeah, Chewy straight into the wall there. Let's see Atmosphere getting passed by just about everybody here. But able to actually stick with Blue Cow. Looks like the inters aren't terrible. DRS might be disabled very shortly here. I'd be surprised if it ever comes back on, actually. By the time it would come back on, it'll probably be disabled from the rain. Juan losing it just a little bit there. That's going to allow Refrax to keep the pedal to the metal, or whatever it is in these cars, some carbon composite, and able to get past him. Trash Panda also able to get past Juan. Yeah, lifting an Eau Rouge. That's what I was talking about with those inters on 2 laps. You can see just how detrimental it was, even for a small lift on dry tires.
Ooh, very
really
slick. Juan goes sideways. Becomes part of the wall there for a second.
I mean, mixed conditions are hard enough. You add ridiculously cold tires, and you've got a recipe for disaster. You can see Atmosphere here on the opposite end of the spectrum burning up his tires. There's not enough moisture or enough water on this track to cool those tires down. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, the way the intermediate tires and wet tires work are they each have treads in them just like regular road tires, and that is to disperse the water and so that you don't get water building up underneath causing hydroplaning. So that's what those are for. That's to give you a little bit more grip. Atmosphere getting hit by SoCal. SoCal going straight into the back of Atmosphere and causing him some major wing damage there. That is unfortunate for Atmosphere. His play might have panned out, but unfortunately not going to work now. And we have a VSC for Atmosphere to maybe recover a little bit. But yeah, sorry, as I was saying. And so the intermediate tires are created by Pirelli. Obviously, we're talking real life, but it is mimicked in the game, at least somewhat. They have the ability to heat up very fast, which is good when there's water on the track and you need that. So it's easier to get heat into those tires. But when there's not water on the track and you're driving on a dry track, you're going to find yourself overheating the tires and sliding quite a bit. But as now everybody pits for Inter tires, Atmosphere's race absolutely destroyed by SoCal, who just went straight into the back of him. Atmosphere now letting Bacon Sushi go by. I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm pretty sure I just watched SoCal
Atmosphere going into the pits because his left end plate is missing. I don't know if that's a good call or not, with only 3.5 laps or so left.
Yeah, that's just a bummer. Hymax and SoCal staying out on those soft tires. Well, SoCal's race, I would have to think, is probably not going to go too well on those soft tires. I think he's going to fall back, but I could be mistaken. Maybe everybody else jumped the gun and these two guys are making the right call. If they are, they're going to look like geniuses, but judging by how Eiston can stick with SoCal, I'm going to say that it was not the right call. Bacon Sushi, from last position up into 4th. Atmosphere from 3rd position. I think he would have been leading the race right now with everyone pitting had SoCal not taken him out of the race there, or at least taken him out of the racing at the front.
We are definitely in the overlap portion right now because Ison is still having trouble keeping it on the roads. Now, the intermediate conditions in this game are a lot slicker than I think they should be, because you can actually gain a lot more traction, I feel like, in the wets, but SoCal having trouble through the corners here as Iston's making a move on him through Puan. And he backs off a little bit just to avoid any issues because I think he knows.
But he's going to go back down the inside. He's going to go back down the inside. SoCal's going to go off the track. And yeah, but now we've got the net race leaders here in Ice Tin, Bacon Sushi, and Refrax, all super close on the track, courtesy of the safety car. But Refrax getting held up, kind of a blockade between Bacon Sushi and SoCal. Now SoCal's probably going to run out wide here a little bit. Yeah, and that's just going to slow Refrax to a crawl. Bacon Sushi comes back on the track there, hits SoCal a little bit. SoCal's going to understeer super wide and spins both Haas's races ended by SoCal Blazer. The man, the myth, the legend. I mean, that's for sure. Bacon Sushi needs to take some of that blame. He came back onto the track there after going a little bit wide and didn't really leave much room, but then SoCal just missed his braking, which he actually probably needed to brake into that corner like that, but opted to not, and ran wide and spun Bacon Sushi. But Ice Tin and Refrax now really the two that are on inters that are in this race. Oh, sorry, I missed Peach. My boy Peach looking for a very good podium right now, looking in a very good spot for one as well. So the people that had the intermediate tires, seemed, for reasons out of their control, they made the right decision to pit under the safety car, but for reasons out of their control somewhat, they find themselves towards the back of the grid, and we have who ended up staying out, able to pit, especially because of a VSC. Had that VSC not happened, Bacon Sushi and Atmosphere would be running 1-2 right now, so they're going to be a little bit bummed about that. But Iced-In, 6.2 seconds to refract. Peach, 2.2 to refract.
Yeah, it's like I said, a lot of chaos happening here. Bacon Sushi still in 5th. Right on the back of Trash Panda, looking for something. It was a good call for both of them to go on the intermediates, but obviously barring their particular issues for each of them.
Yo, I think if anybody in the world is feeling that hashtag Alex Albon moment right now, it's got to be the Haas drivers with those Alpha Tauris racing them so hard. That was hilarious. Thank you.
Double A.
Oh man, that one, that you hate to see it. That's rough, and
It's gonna have to be race over for him at this point.
yeah.
Bacon Sushi,
Yeah, I mean,
maintaining 5th, but probably should be up in 2nd, maybe. But I mean, with the other guys gaining on him so fast during that sort of overlap period, I think he's in a pretty good position right now. Obviously,
Yeah,
Atmosphere losing
he
out the
should be
most
happy.
with repitting
Yeah, I think-
after damage.
Yeah, I think Atmosphere could find him. I think House could be running 3-4 or 4-5, something like that right now, instead of what is happening. That being said, AA really bummed to see him crash there. He had an excellent, basically two recoveries from kind of towards the back of the grid to making himself up to towards best of the rest, and then finding himself back. And he is going to stay out.
Well,
Maybe he can hold on to that 7th position. We'll see. SoCal loses it through Blanchimont. Oh, huge impact with the wall there. Looks like he didn't lift enough. And in the immortal words of Fernando Alonso, karma. He finds himself spun out and out of a wing on the inter tires. Poetic justice at its finest.
Well, as we're on the penultimate lap here,
Small asterisk. I would have to see the incidents again. I don't know if it is actually SoCal's fault, except for the one on Atmosphere. But yeah.
all right. Who?
Small disclaimer.
Peach moving up 10 positions off the start from 13th to
Oh.
3rd. Quirk from 15th
Oh
to
my-
6th.
High Max just spun out of the last corner, and he's going to continue on the. He just pitted for soft tires.
Why is he on softs? Must have
The
been a mistake.
madman.
Had to have been a
Boys,
mistake.
come on. Yeah, it had to have been. Remember China, Righteous, when you
I
put it on
don't.
to softs?
I think I purged
after-
that from my memories, Jeff.
Yeah. After you loaded the top speed setup instead of your setup.
Oh, I had a great setup, and then for some reason had a little finger slip issue, and yeah, ended up with the lowest downforce, worst possible setup I could have for China, and drove pretty decently considering, but then had to, what did I pit 4 or 5 times? I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
pit onto hard tires, and then Jeff, I guess, told you to pit onto soft tires as the rain started falling, so you pit onto soft tires, and then one lap later had to pit onto the inter tires.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably the
man.
worst race I've ever had. Anyway,
Yeah, that was hilarious. I haven't laughed like that since I was a little girl. And we've got...
who's
the
our...
gaps are pretty, the gaps are pretty far right now. Closest is probably Bacon Sushi to Trash Panda. Double A, great job from him to be driving with no end plate and to be actually gaining on Quirk and only lost about 2 seconds to Juan that lap. That's impressive from him. Juan is a fast driver, so yeah, as we start the final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix, Refracts 4.6 seconds off the leader, Easton, who has essentially led since the first safety car when Refracts unfortunately made the mistake of going onto the hard tires, or I guess the game made the mistake for him, of going onto those hard tires. Easton going onto the proper medium tires and able to just build a huge gap, and now once they're on those inter tires, able to just maintain and kind of grow that gap a little bit. The Peach, though, looking good for an excellent podium from him. A great recovery drive from Peach. Kind of found himself towards the middle, towards the back for most of the race, but able to finish strong and hopefully get a podium, unless I just jinxed him. And Double AA, speaking of gaining on Quirk, is now within a second of Quirk. So Quirk really having no pace there as he's losing time to Double A with those with that wing damage. Maybe Quirk has some wing damage, I would assume, because he seems to be going quite slow, but then makes up a lot more time through Double A there, through the blind hairpin, where you really do need that downforce. And Trash Panda running out a little bit wide. Could Bacon Sushi get up into fourth position? Not if you're going to be riding the curb and poo on. That was a scary moment right there. But yeah, if Trash Panda goes off anywhere here, Bacon Sushi is right on him, keeping him honest and able to pounce at any point.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what we're going to expect, obviously, barring any penalties or mistakes for the last of the race here.
And so, I don't know. I think this might be Eiston's first win. If it is not, I apologize. I'm really bad about that. I did that to Pfeiffer with his first points, but Eiston exits the bus stop chicane to take the victory in Spa, and we'll see where Refrax ends up. Yeah, I had a feeling Eiston had a penalty, and I don't know why he went slowly like that and weaved. He almost lost that race because of that poor exit out of the bus stop. But Peach coming across the line now to finish third. An excellent podium from him. Unless he had a penalty. No, he did. But I think Trash Panda had more. We'll see where AA and Quirk finish respectively. But the podium finishers are Eiston, Refrax, and the Peach. Sorry. No, that can't be right.
This cannot be right at all.
Oh, you know what it was? AA lagged out on the formation lap like he did in Hungary. Joined back. Just messes up the time. AA is in 7th position behind Quirk, I believe.
Yeah,
and that'll put Bacon Sushi down to 8th. We'll have to figure that out. But obviously AA did not win the race. Eiston only had a 3-second penalty and Refrax had no penalties, so ignore that. Eiston is your winner. Refrax and Peach are your podium sitters. Again, Eiston could very well receive a penalty for the said aforementioned AA. With that incident, I think it was lap 2 or lap 3. If he receives a penalty for that, I think that'll take him. Yeah, even if he got a 10-second penalty, he'd still be in second place, so he should still be on the podium. But that could promote Refrax to first position.
Who are we giving our driver of the day to? Is it Eiston? Is it Peach? Is it some unnamed sponsor?
Let's see. Yeah, Peach. Gotta be Peach. Quirk did a good job up into 9th, but Peach, I feel like, had a lot more pace. And so I'm going to give it to Peach. And I have a feeling the game is going to give it to Peach as well, because Peach did a lot of overtaking.
Most likely that's going to happen.
Unlike
those, to actually finish up on those soft tires.
Unlike those T1 commentators, nerds that are too scared to go against the game if it gives someone driver of the day, I put my foot down and say it is Peach, no matter what the game says, as we painfully watch Hymax come across the line here. Let's see what we got here. Only 13 finishers with 18 starters. You hate to see it. You also love to see it. And Peach is the game's driver of the day. He is our driver of the day. Congratulations to Peach on a very well-deserved podium. Congratulations to Eiston on an excellent win. AA is not anywhere. He should not be on the podium. This is the equivalent of Lance Stroll walking onto the podium because his dad bought him a trophy. You hate to see it. Unfortunately, Peach not getting to enjoy watching his virtual character get sprayed with white foam in the face. But yeah, that was a race. That was Spa. I love Spa. I love racing Spa, and I don't think I have ever been disappointed commentating a race in Spa. What a track. What a race. T3, only one crash in Eau Rouge, and it took until like lap 17. You guys are awesome. Excellent race. I think that was phenomenal.
All right, as we finish up getting the incidents for the race, yeah, definitely AA does not have that first place here.
Nope.
So we will...
FIA will sort that out accordingly. Exactly. Yeah, with screenshots, and we'll get all that. We'll get all that sorted out. But yeah, so yes.
Well, this has been a very interesting race, I must say. Gore, did I lose you?
No, you did not. Sorry, I was typing to confirm to the drivers that that AA did not, in fact, win the race. But yeah, I think that was an interesting race. You know, sometimes everything is better left unsaid, so I don't think we need to do any interviews. Also, I'm very tired, so. I mean, no, I'm very professional, so it's just because I don't, in my professional opinion, I don't feel we need it. Thank you to everybody who watched.
Yeah, the
And
comment section has been interesting. I don't know if you've been watching the chat, but
I have. Yes.
I'm glad we had some time to discuss some of those things.
Yeah, thank you everybody who came out today, watched this race, participated in the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the race as much as we did. And tune in on Wednesday for the Tier 1 race, where I absolutely get dominated by Chen Jie, as does everybody else who races. We will be in Suzuka, and then the following Saturday, we'll have Tier 2, and 1 week from today, we will have another T3 race.
Tier 2 is on Sunday, and
Pretty
we
sure I said that.
have... No, you said Saturday. We do have ACC on Saturdays.
Whoa,
normally.
whoa. We're the F1 commentators. We can't give anything to ACC.
It's all ARC stuff. It's all ARC stuff.
No.
All I'm saying is, for the next season of ACC, you're going to see me in there, and
unfortunately,
I'm not
you're
gonna
have to
win,
listen
but I'll
to
do pretty
Kool Aid
well.
commentating. All right, let's. That's a good place to end it. Love
All
you,
right.
Kubi.
Good night.